for this?
Right on.
Happy weekend, everybody. Happy weekend. It's been a while, Crocodile, since we do a recon ride for the ZRL, but because it's a scratch race, which means there's only 1 point handed out, and it's at the end when you finish. So you better hang on to dear life to the end, and your final points will be handed out at the finish line. No sprint runner, no segments, nothing in between. It's just you from the gun and your team and everybody who hangs on to it. What it's all about, it is ZRL stage 3. And what this is all about, it's a 33.6 kilometer course with 280 meters of elevation. We're gonna be visiting the World Macquarie Islands, and this one is a good one, as you want to be warmed up. I would say warmed up like breaking a sweat, kind of warmed up out of the pants. You're starting right there and go straight into a ramp where I feel will be the first selection made. Front and chase group will be formed, and then we're gonna go after that village. We're gonna right here. We're gonna go downhill for a long period of time until we're gonna hit the fine and sandy section, which is maybe familiar from the last week, where some people had their lights out taken, and here's the receiver saying goodbye and back on. So this is where you feel the recovery is over, as this one is a first little dig right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, I say, as soon as the gun goes zero, you're gonna start pushing for 2 to 3 minutes very heavily and recovering on the way down here, hopefully, if they're not surges on the way. Next highlight will be the shisha kind of like sprint, or like the shisha climb. A little bit of a corkscrew here, up here, where we have the second selection made. You want to hold on to dear life here to make it to the final climb, where I feel if you are a contender for the podium, you will stretch in the group right on that last climb out, somewhere over here. This is where you start climbing all the way out, where you put the herd into people, and then from there it's a little bit farmland, and the last ramp, which will be handing out a burrito a kilometer before the finish, is going to be a burrito firework left and right. I highly recommend firing up the burrito as soon as you have it and get out front and escape the madness. And you might get swarmed at the end of the race towards the finish line, but at least you are not in the burrito madness. So again, you don't want to be in the madness because you want to thin out the field beforehand. Let's figure this out. How are we going to do this? We're going to do this and have a closer look on the notes in regards to the recon. So right on, it's right. So I gotta put a little bit more music in here. I like to give you a little bit more rhythm to it. This is the recon ride. It's going to be between 2.2, between 2.8, somewhere in between. So nobody will like blast out of the gun, out of the pants here. But I highly recommend testing it a little bit to see how much effort you will need to get out of here. So having said that, let's do a chill kind of like let's see what we got. Come on. What do we got here? Here we go. So 20 seconds to go. We will may or may not have a ride leader here. Yeah, I think it's as Sanenja from ESRT. They will give some references here, but I will chime in with my comments too. So be aware of that. And again, be ready for the start. It's gonna be guns blazing, going out normally on race day. Okay, why? You will find out in a little bit here, because we're gonna say, here we go. There you have it. Oh, I have 2 coalition members in here who are experiencing the same thing, and this is where it already gets interesting. You're coming out of the pants straight into a ramp. %, first ramp. Same ramp you will experience. This will be the finish banner here as well. 10%. I highly recommend staying on the gas still. And what I'm looking for is probably, depends on which category you are in, but give it a good effort. Meaning 450 to 320 watts. Keep on pushing. And that's just like the first little bump here. All right. If you haven't warmed up, I don't know how you're gonna make it through, because your lactate will go through the roof, holding on to these guys, pulling away the front. So still 3% up. And we're gonna go up all the way to the village. It is 0 here. There might be a little bit chance of like drafting back on, having a slight mini break, maybe getting back onto the front group, position yourself before you have to push again, right here and now. I cannot stress enough, this race will be decided in the first 2 or 3 minutes if you are in the big points or in the mid-range points. I could see bigger fields splitting and forming a front and a chase group, and if the chase group is motivated and big enough, they might be able to draft back on. But again, look at this, 4% still. We are 3 minutes in here, and we sweating it a little. So don't be surprised here, don't be surprised people were gonna push and push. So you're gonna keep on pushing for at least 2.5 to 3 minutes. I think in 3 minutes you should be up there. I would say 2.5 to 3 for the Bs. A is probably under 2, but this will be sizzling hot going out of here. So you can already see at the top one more orange section, yellow section, and then we're plateauing. Last push here to make it onto the front group before you can have a little slight breather. The climb here is draftable, so it will make it very fast. I feel people will zoom up here in like 35 clicks and more. So if you're gonna drop to 20, this will be tough. This will be tough. What we got here, I just wanna double check here. 450 watts. Yeah, so you will probably travel in mid-30s, going up here as a B. Here we go. I heard pushing on the downhill. It's the new pushing on the uphill. So stay on the gas. Stay on the gas at least until you cross the Bonner. Okay? You don't want to drop a beat. People will stretch it. It will be a long snake. Here we go. First power up gets awarded right here now. I'm actually not sure exactly which one it is, but if you're in trouble and you don't see any like big group behind you, you better use it now here. All right. We have one more little dip here. One more little like bump in the road before we actually start descending, but this will be already like separating the front to the chase group quite a bit. People will push here. The front will still push over this bump. After this bump, you can like turn on the recovery mode, okay? But before, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Here we go. Now it goes down. Now it goes downhill. Make sure you keep pushing a little to keep up the speed. And I think on the wooden bridge you're safe. So if the chase group is smaller than the front group, it's game over at this point for the chase group. That's that. Just tell you, plank blank. That's it. Game over. So if your front group is, let's say 30 riders, chase group is 50, great. The chase group has a chance, but the chase group will be big and it needs to be accumulating speed. So right now we're going down here with 40 clicks. I think nobody really is like pushing here super hard. So again, I suggest recovery here, recovery. I will point, in 2 minutes I will point out another search point for the front group where you can expect the first kind of like, hello, who is he to play? Kind of like call. Let's see. I can see the front group here actually slowing a little because, yeah, they're put in the dick already. Everybody's recovering. Even like the front people will lean back a little here. But if you have a smaller kind of league, let's say only 40 riders in your league, and the front group is like 15 or 20 riders, and you have a dominating team there, I can see 3 or 4 people pushing the pace of one team here, really punching it. So to maximize the gap. It's a little bit like a snowball effect. It's downhill here, you see 2% all the way. So people will participate if they want or not, because if the front pushes, people in the back need to push to stay on the draft, and they might snowball through. So that will keep the power high and the pace high. So I mentioned that the front top guys, they will have a little bit of recovery. That was their recovery right now, right here. At this point, they're probably already forming their first attack, or maybe depends on the size of the group. Let's see, because what is coming up is that I think it's a Chinese village or something. You're going in here with speed, and you crusting over a little, I wouldn't say ramp, but it's something where I could see things drag out a little. Or spread out. People who are not experienced and miss the train, or like Tommy Texter might misses that train. So be ready for this one. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay. Try to start your attack from the back. Okay. See, like a little touch from the back. You're coming in here hot. You're coming in here with speed. So you wanna try to launch your attack before the gate, before you're passing through the gate. Okay. Let's watch this. Okay. Let's see how it turns out. Here we go. Plan your attack with the group. Okay. That's where we're gonna go uphill. 3% here. And yes, you see it stretching a little. So if you're gonna go full gas, you might catch Tommy Texter. He really has to burn a match to come back on. All right. And down here, chill again, okay? It's just to keep the front group engaged into speed, all right? And to maintain your gap from the chase group. Sprint or power up coming up, so include that or incorporate that into your attack if you want, or if you get caught by a surge, you can deploy it here. All right. The next section will be first flat, but then like downhill again. All right. So it's all flattish now, okay? With a little bit dip to 1% here, something like that in average. Okay, so heavier guys, it's your time to shine now. You want to put on the show here. Bring the engines up front, pull away in a coordinated TT attack and surges, whatever you feel is right, but heavier guys will have an advantage. Your guys, like these guys, will hopefully tear the climbers apart, the lighter guys, who may or may not have to burn a match to stay attached. So for experienced teams or diesel engines, again, that's your time to pull away, as you can recover on the more downhill, which is coming like shortly. So take these like farmlands for your advantage. Again, races which are not animated by the top riders here most likely will come together as the chase group will come back on. Because the mentality of the group is, okay, yeah, the climbs are coming, Shisha climb is coming. We're rolling at around like 36 to 40 clicks, nothing to worry about, but the team in the back is motivated to chase back on. So they're probably rolling at 2 or 3 clicks higher than you in the front, if you're not working. See, it's like slightly little dips here and bumps, 2% up. Good place to put in a little surge, okay? If you want to stretch out the field a little, okay? If not, hide in a draft as best as possible. You know what, it's funny, in this ride actually, there's no draft activated. I have no draft reading at all. I think that needs to be set up by the organizer here. I think Zwift Racing, Swedish racing club, was a sports race team. Esports racing team coming from Sweden needs to set that up if you guys want to enjoy this ride next time with draft. So maybe my attack in the village would have been even like more stretchier. Whatever. Happy to see 2 coalition jerseys in here. So, now we're coming to an interesting area here, which I like, which I really like, as it's a little more wavy. So, yes, it is a dirt section. You can see that when the dust is coming up, this is where steamrollers will take effect. Otherwise, the sand is like tarmac. If you see the dust coming up, and you have a steamroller, it will be an advantage. The roll resistance will increase here. Heavier guys will have a harder time. So if these heavier guys have a steamroller on hand, they can pull this peloton like gum, okay? So be aware of that. I'm not sure if the steamroller would work on the bridges too, but here's the difference. You see this sand looks pretty much the same as the other one, no dust. Means if you apply steamroller here, won't make a difference. You're wasting it. This is like tarmac. So I can see, depends on the race, depends on the people who are in the front, and depends how quick the chase group is coming. I can see attacks forming here as they're like little rollers in there here. And the danger is if you have a gap, coming back onto the draft is a task, like at high speeds. This group is not pushing, but I can see 40 to 50 clicks here on this route, on this particular section. What is interesting, we're coming to like little like 180 degrees, kind of like base. We have to walk right out and back. These bases are normally a little bit of an uphill tick, so it's uphill towards the coast and it comes down. So launching attacks here with 1 or 2% could be advantageous, okay? You know what it is? I feel that is a group where actually everybody stays together, no matter what kind of like draft. So I get put in place for accelerating here. That's the reason. If you plan a search around this bend, now you're downhill, now you're at speed going over that. You're carrying a gap for sure. It's up to the chase group if they react and chase back on a downhill, or if you get that quick recovery from your effort and now push again. Same game, same effort. Basically like the same kind of a course profile. We're gonna ride out to the bend here, a little bit on an uphill. Here we go, 4%. Make it hard for other people here. Make it hard. I know it's downhill. Don't overcook it, but make it hard. People need to be aware that this is a race. And here we go. This bend is a little more downhill, but as soon as we come around, it's actually even faster, I feel like. It's even faster. Appreciate the follow. Love seeing you guys. If you have teamed up with a heavier diesel engine and you're pushing here, boy, you're making meters, I tell you that. Again, if the chase group is chasing, manage your efforts, as sometimes it's just like putting a little dick in, letting the people in the chase group burn some edges, and for you it's not time to recover until they come back on. When they're back on, even game. Even though you should be in better shape, better recovered than these guys who just came on. Appreciate the follow, guys. Take a good breather here until we hit the stand. 30 seconds out. Here we go. So chase group should be back in. That was all recovery for you now, okay? Again, it's a 33-kilometer race. You might think, okay, we have almost halfway. That was easy. No, actually the race starts now. The race starts now. So it's basically, up to this point, it's more about like exhausting other people, okay? With little stings before you tackle the climbs. You have one more sting to come and you want to plant that nicely, okay? That sting will be in 2 minutes, okay? Be aware, there's a, I would say like a almost 90-degree-ish corner to the left with a bridge which is slightly uphill. I think it's 4%, 4 or 5%. But if you speed into it, you will stretch the team again. Coordinate with your team, so you will stretch the peloton again, and you coordinate with your team to make that attack happen. Okay? Okay, we're coming close to that corner now. Okay, if you have it in you, okay, last thing before the last climb, okay? Come from the back. Come from the back. I don't know if we have power up or not, but I'm just gonna use it. Go up here with speed, okay? 4%. I know they won't let me go because of the race format we're in here. But this is something you want to consider. Keep pushing, okay? Keep pushing until you hit the tarmac. Yeah. Here we go, okay, 0. At this point you will see that you have stretched the peloton. Again, if you surprise Tommy Texter, he has to burn a match to come back on. Because this part lives off the draft. Before you tackle a Chisha climb. Let people come back on. Then we'll need to bust the leg here to make that happen. For you in the front, it's again chill time. Recover, okay? Draft wheels. There's a riser in here actually, like worked before. I think that's the one here actually. Here you go, you see that little truck on the top. Shoulder of, I don't know, that samurai. I don't know what that piece is. Looks like a robotic shoulder piece to me. However, and here's downhill, and now we're gonna go into, I think, a tunnel. Again, all drafting, guys. Okay, tunnel was a little bit much, but it's an overhang. Again, 2-minute warning, we are 2 minutes out here before the big climb, which will blow this field apart, 100%. Even though this race is attached, okay, people will stick together, but in your race, it will differentiate the man from the boys, okay? Or girls from the ladies, or whatever you identify. You never know. In an A race, I could see people pushing the pace already here to tire you out for that climb. But yeah, it is what it is. B race, I could see people slowing down. C race for sure, people will recover here. They know what's coming. They know what is coming. Alrighty. There are two options here to approach that climb. You can stick at the very front with like 1 or 2 bike lengths behind the leader in that group, or you could, what I always used to do, front load it, and that's more the aggressive approach. Front loading is you let the group go a little, okay, and you get a feel of the draft. Don't be too far back, and you speed into that hill, okay? And you have to speed into that hill in a way that you come out, yeah, somewhere where the big tree is on the left hand side, okay? So that will push you probably up front, and you have to be in the wind for that one. Yes, it's gonna be probably 28, 30 clicks, depends. If you have a power up, that's the one you should use. Again, no steamroller will do anything here. So Draftman does wonders. Arrow does wonders. Okay, arrows maybe more at the bottom of the climb and at the top, but that's it. You actually can pace these climbs and split them into two sections, okay? First is this kind of like first half, where yes, it will be hard. It will be stretched, okay? I think we can already see it, even though that is a ride which keeps people on. But you want to push. You want to push at least and make things hard until you cross a bridge. Right now we're going under that bridge, and now we're circling around, okay? Yeah, it's 5%. It will hurt. And this race, ladies and gentlemen, is all about your 3 to 5 minute power, if you haven't noticed. That's how long these climbs take. If you want to be successful, look at that, okay? If you can hold for 4 minutes, 400 watts, you're in good shape. You're in good shape, okay? And that, look on your numbers, okay? In terms of bike choice, yes, a disc wheel is harder, but I consider that an advantage on other sections, on the faster sections. All these climbs are draftable, and they're not that much in the dirt. It's kind of like tarmac here. All right, but if you want to tackle the climbs, you're probably gonna go with the 65 DT or the NV 4.6, like the ones you get when you're rolling with NV Z Racing. Here we are, first section of that climb, done and dusted. Okay, he actually is leveling out here 0% in gradients. This one is the piece where you decide, are you gonna look in the back mirror or you keep looking forward? So it's not that much longer, okay? Just look at that riser. You have yellow, red, yellow, a little bit of plateau, and then yellow, red, yellow, and then you're over. So it's gonna be, let's say, 40 seconds burn. So if you haven't gotten out of the saddle yet, now it's the time. Okay, now it's the time. Last big bump here. And that's the part where you as a good rider can put the hurt into people and maybe cause a gap. If you're coming over here with speed, it's very likely that people really need to suffer to come back on. Yes, it is a downhill section here, but if you're already like with 5-6 guys in the front, you can form something up here. This could be something. Obviously in bigger races with like 60, 70, 80 people, at this point it's probably like a, I would say, 20-person group. If you have an arrow still left, do it, deploy it. Push here, push, push, push. All right, coming over the crossed arrow, punch it in. Even if you're in the front, you will make it more difficult for the people in the back if they see you dropping one. And then from here, you will probably be already in some drafts, and that's the last point where people will form a group. And then from here, it's like kind of like bulking up a little and finding your core speed. Pedal easy here, yeah? If you want, I think at this point, high cadence. Go up in the 90s, like not that much like pressure on the pedal. Just spin the legs out, easy. Less wattage, but more often. Will give your muscle fiber a little bit of a break here. It's all recovery, it's all recovery. Just watch a little bit of the people coming from behind. If they're coming with more speed, they're carrying that speed, and they will hopefully make the group faster. But you should not be surging down if you're in recovery mode. If you want to attack, you will try to snowball here, okay? Again, I highly recommend easy pedaling. That's your last recovery before you make other people bite the dust, okay? 11 kilometers out. Okay, on that wooden part here, go back in your rhythm. Try to find the gearing you are used to pedal, maybe a little bit harder. Depends which RPM, which cadence you prefer to stay in a draft. It's still easy. You want to now maintain the gap to the back because you have worked for it on the shisha climb, okay? If people come back on, okay, then they earned it, but they're burning a lot of matches to do that. So after this little like beach bank here, there comes one more poke you might want to do, okay? And if you have been rewarded a steamroller on the shisha climb, not that I know exactly which power-ups you will get, except the last one is a burrito, which is ridiculous, but we can talk about that later when we come there. So this one, there's a little bump in the road. Don't underestimate that, okay? This will hurt, okay? If you are, again, not paying attention, or you want to try to catch Tommy Texter on his phone, this would be the time to attack, all right? Get yourself ready in a good position here. There will be like a almost 180 degrees corner coming up here. You want to like now accelerate already. Accelerate and get into it, okay? Push around this corner hard. As you see, 4%. It seems like it's a false gradients, but it's not. Keep on pushing here. You see, even like you have the gradients visually shown here. Keep on pushing around this bend. It will stretch. And Tommy Texter will be surprised what just happened. I mentioned the steamroller, okay? And that's the second part where you may or may not want to apply it. If you put the hurt into people before the climb, launch it here, keep on going. With one asterisk, if the group behind you is like 20 riders and they're all motivated and you're punching your steamroller, you might wasting that for an attack which they reel you back in on this descent here, but you have to keep on pushing if you really want to make it. That was your last chance to get away with a little crew from the pack. I think nobody really will make a move between here and towards the climb, except you and A. Maybe there will be, depends on group size, some surges. I will not say that there could be a situation where people in the group looking at each other and say, hey, you're gonna go, you're gonna stitch it, you're gonna go after them, and they let you go on this piece here before the climb. So could be something that could work. Again, this climb is very draftable, so if you are a lighter rider and you have survived that and you are here, you're in a good shape, buddy. Again, I'm not sure which power up you will get rewarded here, but if you get a feather, I will keep that. I would keep that. And the feather I would only apply if you're losing contact or you feel super strong and you know the place where it's steep and you have to put in a dig to put people in the hurt box, okay? So most likely this will be here the final selection. It's a longer ramp, a longer climb. And you will push probably a little more than you want to push, to be quite honest. Okay, here we go. Again, watch your numbers. I feel this climb is going to be a numbers game, and there will be a point where you feel good, and there will be a point where you start feeling bad. All right, so breathing is important. Okay, drink before you tackle this one here. Okay, at this point, all fans are on full blast. And still at this point, I would not go up front in the wind. Yes, it will be hard and a little like risers here, going from 2 to 4, back to 2%, up to 5, back to 2. That will hold a little, that will break you down. So trying to watch your watts per kilogram. Commit to a number you can hold for at least 5 minutes. And if the pack goes lower than that, okay, that's a bonus. If the pack goes higher than that, it's up to you if you follow that. And you judge, yeah, it's maybe an attack, a surge. And we'll slow down or not. But again, you see between 2-4% dips up and down. No power up, don't do it here, okay? It's not where you need help, hopefully. We're just at the beginning. You see in the mini map these like 2 bends. The first bend will be the harder one. The climb will be harder going up that. So survive that, okay? Try to survive that. And then the second bend, the first half of that bend will be hard. I would recommend deploying your power up on the second bend, first half. A draft or a feather. If you have the steamroller, wait to the top. There's a section where the steamroller actually will make a difference. You can see based on the colors at the top. Yellow, it's okay. Red, time to attack. Or it's where the hurt starts. Here again, around that band is where you want to break people, okay? It's all tarmac, okay? Don't worry about steamroller here. All tarmac. So an attack, probably, if you're in the front, in terms of feather, yes, that could be right here, right now. If you're up front, if you feel good, do it here. As you see, it's the longest red section, and there's a little bit of recovery coming. So, knowing that, do it. Not knowing that the recovery is coming on the bridge is mentally draining. Whew. Recover, recover, recover. Okay. Last chance to get away here. Maybe coming from the back, speeding up. Okay. Your chance is closer to the bend. And we turn around at the top there. You see that bridge? Being a draft here. And that's where you fire it up. Boom, rocket. Going around that bend. I know I'm talking, I can push that, but I'm the guy who's gonna be hustling in the back, trying to stay on. Always the bends at the top close to the coastline are the ones where it really hurts. Okay? If you stayed on until here to the front, man, you better bite it here. Don't let them go away now. The gradients is easier to manage here, but you want to stay in the draft, okay? There will be some little digs here over the bridges, but in general, it should all be able to, you should all be able to hold on now. Nothing super crazy. Come on, you're almost out of here now. You're almost out of here. Try to hold on until the tarmac hits, okay? We're bending around now here, so keep on going. Keep on going. If you start seeing the waterfalls, you're right there, man. You're right there. One more corner. One more big corner. There you go, waterfall section coming up here. You made it, okay? You made it. A little bit of a dip to recover. Enjoy that mist from that waterfall. Here we are. Alright. People who have a steamroller still saved up, now's your chance. I know everybody is saying, okay, we made it. For the people who are attacking, long range attack, we are 3 kilometers out. It's your chance. Here comes your chance. Dirt is going up here, there you go. Launch it. What do we got here? It's probably the amount the steamroller lost. Not more, not less. That's probably much it. 20 seconds, I would say. 10, 20 now. Okay, 30 seconds you have to bridge this point here and get that steamroller advantage and get the hell out of here. 2.5 kilometers away. If you're away, the competition in the back will probably look around and say, hey, you follow. No, you follow. You do. You. That's your chance to keep pushing, okay? You might be able to push to a 15-second gap already. If that's the case, you're in good shape. But the last 2K we're gonna be tough. So I assume, depends on the group size, you may or may not have some guys who are pulling away. And then it's up to the group and up to the individual who's most motivated to stitch it, to bring it back. It's gonna be tough for both sides, because the guy who's pushing away, he will push for 2-3 minutes high power FTP at least, and then is faced with 2 ramps which he has no draft, but he has a lead. So it's up to you how you manage that, but I would try as a race maker not to get anybody away on a dirt section right before you're hitting this tarmac section. And then try to chill here. Surf wheels. Check the sprint numbers, or at least the weight class, in which weight class you are. If you are 10 kilos, 20 pounds off compared to other guys, they probably they're gonna go away in the sprint on these ramps. But yeah, there's one funny thing here, is we're gonna go through a banner, and that's not the race end. The race end is 800 meters down the road. So be aware of that. Keep on pushing through a banner. You will get a power up, a burrito. And it depends where you are. If you're up front, you're gonna fire it probably right away if you see people coming closer. Okay? And you fire it like when they're already like in the 10, 9, 8 meter range, okay? If you're approaching this this section with that many people, 38 people, gute Nacht, good night, buddy. So what I would recommend is chase up here as quick as possible. Chase up here, okay? This is your draft advantage. As soon as you cross this banner, start hitting it. I'm hitting it right now. Start hitting it, okay? And push, 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 okay? Hard push in the saddle. You want to try to maintain your position, all right? Burrito, I think it's 15 seconds. We'll be over by now. So at this point, if people haven't launched it, you should be in front of them. And keep on pushing. It's 30 more seconds out of the saddle, okay? And then you're here, okay? Boom, boom, boom. And that's your race, all right? That's your race. I hope everybody enjoyed this one. I wish you good luck, especially coming out of the pants. Going up this hill. Warm up. Can't stress enough. How does a warm-up look like? 20 minutes before the gun goes off, you're in the pants. Already turning the legs. All right. Have a couple surges in the pants, and then bring it back down. Maybe 5 minutes before the gun goes off to relax, so that this one feels like just another interval, but longer. That should be the goal. All right. All right. I'm gonna be out of here. You guys enjoy, and I see you at the next one.